Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishman log number 212. And I'm not sure about where you are, but here it has been really hot and humid all summer long. A couple of odd breaks for a day or two, but for the most part it's been, quite warm. So I haven't spent a whole lot of time in the fish room, mostly because, well, during the day I'm outside working, doing repairs on the outside of the buildings and stuff, and yeah, I've done enough sweating. But I have done a few things, and one of the neat things here is these are Cory eggs. This is, I think, the third or fourth batch, and I've changed my strategy now. Initially, I would just raise them off the glass the second I spotted them and try to incubate them artificially, of course. Moderate success, I guess. Not really, though. Not enough. So what I'm doing now is I leave it in the aquarium, this time for about 2 days, and they do predate on some of them. I'm assuming that most of the ones they predate on are going to fungus anyway. But as you can see, with the movement in those eggs, that actually is working out a little bit better. So I'm going to give this a try, and well, hopefully it'll come up with something else. Maybe I'll have to make an artificial hatchery for them at some point. This is the culture for paramecium, as you can see them swimming around there, but also you notice there are more cyclops now. And the reason for that is I think I finally got the right ratio of water and volume and everything else to the amount of dehydrated turnip to add. So it's doing really quite well. I mean, I do want not just pure paramecium, of course, I want a little bit of variety. And the other thing, this is the other culture I've been messing around with, which is hay and a little bit of dehydrated turnip. As you can see, it's thriving really nicely, and again it also has a bunch of cyclops in it, which is again very useful. I always like cyclops as food because for the tiny fry they're too big, but they're obviously the eggs hatch, and those little teeny cyclopses are perfect food for them, and then as they get bigger they can pick off the adults. These guys are doing great. I'm very happy about this. They're all over the place. And of course Mom and Dad are being Mom and Dad and getting in the way of filming, but they're also doing a really good job of taking care of them. I find that convicts are amazing parents. They just are. And as you can see, these guys have bellies on them. They're doing quite well. I'm very curious to see what happens when they get a little bit bigger. Maybe about another month, maybe. Then the color patterns are going to start showing up, because he's obviously the wild type and she is an OB, and I'm curious to see just what I'm going to get out of them, because, well, they're lovely fish. I know I'm biased because they were the first fish that I had ever kept and bred as an egg layer, so it's just one of the fish I really like. So this is a problem. This is obviously designed for a flow into a sump, and you can see the babies are now getting quite a bit more active. So what I did is I tore apart all that and put on a nice filter screen, but unfortunately, because I stirred everything up so much, it plugged up almost right away. So what I'm going to need to do here is keep changing this every an hour or two, probably until everything settles down again. And I think it'll be pretty good at keeping them out. Otherwise, what I'm going to have to do is wrap a open pore sponge around this instead, and hopefully that'll be big enough, or sorry, small enough pores to keep them out. So this is my first attempt at breeding zebra danios just in an aquarium, and you can see there's quite a few of them. Not really sure how this is going to turn out long term. Obviously I'm getting more than enough fry, but I don't know, of course, until they get big enough, whether or not this is actually something that's going to produce good quality fry. I'm pretty sure it will, because, well, I mean, the tank's well filtered, lots of plants, and obviously tons and tons of microorganisms. That water you saw in the initial large photos I showed you for the Cory eggs, that's just tank water, and you can see there's still tons of stuff in there. And just because I wanted to show you the fact that my war against duckweed's not over, there's a bunch of it right there. Every now and then I miss it, and it starts to propagate, and I get to see it, especially when I'm really busy. It's one of those things that just sort of crops up. Now hopefully it's going to cool off soon, and once it does cool off, I have so many things that I need to do there's so many, well, there's about 2 filter designs I want to work on. There's the anti-splash guard I want to work on, and there's a bunch of other stuff. There's just a lot of things, but it's just, like I said, not exactly the best conditions for working and filming in my basement at the moment. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is the only tank I still have pothos in. I keep it here for no real reason. I mean, I know it was a big fad there a number of years ago, but anyway, it's in the tank and it doesn't cause any problems, so I will just leave it there. And anyway, these guys are doing really quite well. So I've been watching these guys. These are the honey Grammys, and he builds a nest. A quartz. He tends the nest all day long, and I've been watching to see if it's still there in the morning, because that's the key, right? If he's tending it all day, 24 hours, then there's a possibility that he'll eventually get some eggs in there. And of course, I'm also recording it because I want to see it on the large screen and see if there's actually anything in there. So far, I haven't noticed anything, so... Anyway, I have hopes, and they're still really quite young, so there could be some time before that gets to the point. And of course, I also mentioned I need to divide them up. I'm actually preferring zebra Anews in this pond to the white clouds. No other reason than the fact that they don't seem to mind me going around. They just school and do their thing, and they don't go hide in a corner. And that's the unfortunate aspect of the white clouds, but that may also have been a bit of an aberration from the fact that those were store-bought and they're a little bit more skittish. Whereas these guys, which as you see are growing really quite well, are actually almost at an age now where I can breed them, they're much more calm. They school quite nicely, of course, and they don't seem to mind me poking around. So, like I said, it might just be the fact that those are raised somewhere and then transported lots, and it kind of made them a little more skittish. This batch of baby fry of guppies are growing up, and they're starting to have fry of their own. This particular color scheme from whatever parents they came from, not terribly thrilled about it, so I'll probably just go to a client's tank, and then I'll try another batch of somebody else. This tank, which I do literally nothing with except dump in platies and keep some guppies in there. It's doing really well, which is kind of nice. It's just a community tank of guppies and platies, and well, of course all the other microorganisms and macroorganisms I keep in there, but it's doing quite well. It's where I put the females after they've dropped their fry here, and I will keep an eye and see if any of them start showing signs of being pregnant. These guys are doing awesome. They are, well, big enough now just to go in any aquarium. I'm going to leave them here for now because, again, heat and everything. As you can see, the front of this tank this is actually stuff that's on the outside of the tank. I need to do so much work. There's a whole pile of them in here. They just got a little scared when I moved my mobile desk out of the way so that I can film these. But they'll start coming out shortly because, well, they've never seen a net, so they don't know what it is, and they still trust me. They'll learn otherwise before too long. Anyway, thank you for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think about all this, and I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.